Everybody, Ice Boy Slushy here with another video. And this episode, yes, it's taking place in my living room this time. Yay! But anyway, in this video, I want to talk about fursuit bullying. Not really fursuit bullying, sorry, but like furry bullying. You know, people who tend to not understand or be very nice to furries, and also to talk about your non-furry friends. So I got a question from one of my subscribers asking, why are we being bullied? And to answer that, I guess I'll just start with the elephant in the room. And look at us. I mean, we're humans. We're humans who dress up like animals. And yeah, it may be like super cool to us because I definitely love fursuiting so much. But to other people, especially to people who are kind of close-minded, yeah, definitely this is going to look kind of ridiculous and kind of stupid. And you know what? It's just going to happen. But it doesn't just happen with, the furry community. It happens with the cosplay community, it happens with the anime fans, and it happens everywhere. Bullying just happens. And the only way to deal with it is to kind of not let it get to you. Like, think of your favorite show and think of why you love it so much. Now, you go to somebody and say, hey, have you seen this show before? And then this person could be like, oh no, I don't really like it at all. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of dumb. And you're just left like, oh, well, it's the greatest thing in the world. And you don't let that bother you too much. You're like, oh, okay, you don't like it. You ask why, or you're like, oh, darn, like, why don't you like it? But you don't get that upset over it, do you? At least I hope you don't. And that's kind of how you have to take this kind of deal with people who don't like fursuiters. And it's a little different if it could get like physically involved, but you never ever want to start physically fighting with somebody because it's not worth it. It's not worth your time and it's not worth the effort. And in the end, you're just like, it's not going to change your views. If somebody bullies you because of something you love, just try to brush it off, and you could make up like a good comeback to combat the bullies. But for the most part, you can really just walk away, or you could just ignore them. And it's kind of funny when you ignore them because they're so adamant on wanting to get you to fight them. And when you're just like, huh, what? Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. What? And then they say it over again. You're like, okay, and you just walk away, or and then sometimes they're just like, don't just walk away from me, and then they have to go do something else. That's how I tend to combat bullies. But me myself, I haven't really encountered any bullies per se. I'm still relatively new to the fandom. I've only been in the fandom for about I can't 2 years, and I'm still new to it. But the community here, I'm from New Mexico, by the way, and we have a very small community of furries. We don't even have like we don't have a con, and of course most states don't really have a fur con, but we don't really have any get-togethers or meetups either. Well, none that I know of. But yeah, it's super small, and I guess the only thing I would have to say that I dealt with is my second point in this video is your non-furry friends. And I happen to have a lot of friends who aren't furries, especially my girlfriend. She's not a furry at all, but she's starting to understand it more often, and it's great, to have somebody who's gonna be your handler, but she's also a cosplayer. And I do cosplay too. But I tend to stick to my furry side more than my cosplay side now. But it's kind of hard, especially when you take a fursuiter and a cosplayer to a convention. And the conventions here are solely based on, you know, on anime or comics. We don't have anything for furries, but we do go to these events. And, people seem to receive us pretty well, which I'm glad about. But most of my friends who go to those cons are cosplayers. And it's really hard to have friends who aren't furries because, as I showed you in the last video, I had a suit. His name is Bane, and he's my first suit. And I wore him to a convention, and my friend, yeah. Anyway, they kept referring to me, as my real name. They kept calling me she throughout the whole thing, and it was just like, come on. I have my badges on. I got my giant fursuit head on, and I'm in character, And to be referred to as like not my name and not the proper pronouns I want to use, it really made me feel like crappy, because like when I walked around the convention, it's just like, oh hey, your name, and I'm like, I tried to ignore it, and then they come and like grab me, and it's like, my name is Bane. But I guess when it comes to your friends who aren't furries, you can't necessarily get upset at them, but you should at least tell them your proper pronouns and to use your persona's name or your character's name when you're in suit, because that just makes it more believable, more fun for you, because you're Sona, you're doing the things that your character does, you're doing everything that they do, and you're not you, and you need to tell them that. I kind of made the mistake of not telling them that, but only because this particular person doesn't receive that kind of information too well, so I was just ignoring them and just let it go. But if your friends are more understanding and you really want them to get that, you need to tell them. You need to tell them that you're okay. That you're trying to portray a character just as much as they're trying to portray a character if they're cosplayers. Because cosplayers always want to get referred to as, their character. They want to be called their character's name. And that's the same for a fursuiter. We want to be called by our character's names. We have our badges to show our names, and some of those badges even have their pronouns. So, I mean, you should really refer to them as that, because cosplayers and fursuiters, we're all trying to bring a sense of wonder and, that little bit of mystery of, oh my gosh, what's under the mask? Or, people who are female and cosplay males, they want to be portrayed as more male than, feminine, because that's their sense of wanting to bring that joy and wonder to, to the little ones, or even to other cosplayers. And to, kind of down me for for using my name and, not my proper pronouns, it wasn't really cool. It didn't make it fun for me. And it's really hard because that whole con I went without a spotter. I thought my friends were gonna watch out for me, but they didn't. I ended up getting left behind, for about a good hour, kind of wandering around. I couldn't go back up to the room because it was just too crowded to get out of there. And in Bane's head, I don't have the nice vision I do in Slushy. I actually only had vision that was like this. And it wasn't very good because I'm still getting used to painting buckram, so it was kind of, a little blurry here too. And I had a blind spot that was about this big, so I could only see, like kind of like a deer, like this. And it was hard to navigate the con. I couldn't find the cosplay rest and repair room. It was super hard to go around, without a spotter. I was hot and I was kind of getting cranky, but thank God my friend, another one of my friends, actually came back in and helped me to the lounge, and I met another furry there who thankfully helped me to recover and to feel better. And it was great. It was great to have that. But yeah, just with your non-furry friends, make sure they at least understand the dangers and such of being in a fursuit, and how hard it is to kind of navigate your way, especially through a Comic-Con, because that's crazy. And just let them know that, you're trying to portray a character just as much as they are. And if they're not a cosplayer, they're just an ordinary kind of person who likes to go have fun, just let them know that too. Let them know that this is your character, this is who you're trying to be, and don't be afraid to kind of step, put your foot down just a bit and let them know, like, hey, can you please just call me by these pronouns for today? Please, please, please. And sometimes I don't talk in suit. Of course for Slushy, but I don't talk in suit when I'm at a convention. And when they're like pushing you, like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I really have to kind of like lean in and say, like, yeah, this, that. But I'm glad my girlfriend is able to be there with me, and I can communicate that information to her, and she in turn, speaks for me, which is great. I'm glad I have that. I'm glad I have her with me. Yeah, and on the subject of going back to the, bullies again, just try to ignore it as much as you can. If there's no reason for you to fight, you shouldn't fight. Passive aggressiveness can be like the best thing you can do, because one thing you don't want to feel like most of the people who want to get under your skin are just very close-minded, and most of them are kids, so you don't want to just waste your time on that. Just be the bigger person and either ignore them or come up with a witty comeback for them. But don't be mean. Don't be mean to them. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It's not worth being upset for the rest of the day, or taking that time to argue with them for hours, and then you're left even more angrier than when you started. So just try to be more understanding that this isn't the norm. This is not the norm, dressing like an animal. But they're definitely awesome works of art that a lot of people do enjoy. So take the positives. Don't focus on the negatives. Usually they say it takes, 10 positive, 10, well, I don't have 10 fingers, but let's use my ears. Okay, you need 10 positive things to counteract a one negative thought. So just try to surround yourself with a bunch of positive furries. If somebody leaves you like a bad comment, just delete it. Delete and block. Don't even read it. Don't take time to think about it. Focus on the positive comments that you're getting back. And sometimes even, your fans will definitely defend you no matter what. I've seen it on a couple of pages where a fursuiter, posts stuff, and then they don't even have to post anything. Like, the people who love them will just right away start defending them like so quickly. So you definitely have a huge fandom out there supporting you, and we're definitely here for you. So don't focus on it. We love you very much. I know I've never, been to a huge furry event before, but I've seen a lot of videos online, and we're definitely a very loving and accepting community. So keep doing what you love doing. Don't let anybody discourage you, and always be the weird one in the crowd. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye!